Hey everyone, it's Kylie. Pardon the voice, I'm pretty sick and I'm just trying to get some pre-filming done. But today we're going to be doing the Campfire book tag. This tag was originally by Jaded Reader, so I will have that down below for you. So let's jump right into the questions. Build the Tent, a book that you had to read that ended up being a drag. I gotta think about that one for a minute. All right, so for me, this answer would have to be The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. This was one of my book club books back at the beginning of the year. I was actually really excited about it because, you know, it's like a movie, everyone loves it. It's like practically a classic. So I read it, and while it wasn't terrible, it was just really a drag for me. So there you have it, that's my answer. Alright, so the next one is Build a Fire. Name a book that you were proud of finishing. So for me, I'm going to list a trilogy, and for me, that's going to be the Illuminate Files. And I know I talk about it so much, but that's because it's so good. But I read all three of them just like over the course of a month, and I had so much fun with it, and I'm so proud of myself for getting on the bandwagon and enjoying this and not figuring everything out, just learning about all the characters and everything that happens in the story. I think of that and I think I'm so proud of myself for reading that. Not that it was bad or hard to get through, but I'm proud of myself because I took the plunge when I wasn't sure I wanted to, and I did it. So the next one is Roasted Marshmallows, a mushy sweet book that you couldn't help but devour. So give me a minute. I'm gonna have to refer to my Goodreads and figure one out. All right. So I'm gonna have to be real freaking honest. I don't read a lot of like mushy sweet books. It's just not my cup of tea. So I'm gonna have two that I'm going to list, and that would be, actually let's go with three, but these are the most appropriate for this answer that I have read that I am like thinking of right now. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, excuse me. While it wasn't mushy and sweet from the get-go, it was at the end. So and then I'm going to say probably Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This was another book club read, and I actually hadn't really heard of Neil Gaiman until this year, which is like, how? But I am so glad that I did because I found it just a really fun sort of read. I know it's not like super mushy and sweet, but it was enough for me. And then, actually, let's go with the two. We're just going to stick with the two. The next question is Gone Fishing, a book that you were hooked by the first chapter. I really don't want to say The Illuminate Files again, so I'm just going to go ahead and say The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. So I read this at the very beginning of the year. It was my first audiobook I ever listened to, and when I tell you I was hooked, okay? So The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Question number 5. Skipping Rocks, a book or series you DNF'd. Oh boy, oh boy. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Okay? I don't like it. I have a whole a video where I ranted about it. It's a video I made about DNFs. I will link it for you. But just a quick recap. My buddy read this in September with Micah August. You should check her out too. I'll have her channel linked as well. But I didn't like it. It just frustrated me. Like, I can see where people do like it, but I just really didn't, okay? So, I'm just gonna have to go with, the Grishaverse? Yeah, so I didn't like it. I just really didn't like it, you guys. Okay, so the next one is Campfire Songs, a book so good you're always singing its praise. This is such an easy question. The Shining by Stephen King, okay? But as far as Stephen King goes for me, I'm still like a diehard fan of The Shining. I'm always, anytime I get a chance to talk about just Stephen King in general, but anytime I get a chance to talk about The Shining, I'm just telling everybody all of its great things, all of its bad things, and that they should pick it up and read it. Like, seriously, like, I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, but I think it's just so in the back of my head at this point that, like, it's just... I don't know, it's just, I guess it's just something that's become a part of my daily routine that I've just completely forgotten that I always tell people about it. So, The Shining by Stephen King. You should definitely read it. It's freaking great. The Night Sky, a book that made you think so deeply about an aspect of the world. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna have to go with Scythe and Thunderhead. And the reason being is it brings up so many questions about mortality and life and what it means to really be alive. And I found myself discussing with one of my friends about this quite a bit. So yeah, Scythe and Thunderhead, and that's by Neil Shusterman. And the last question is The Teardown, a book whose ending you found bittersweet. So for this one, I'm gonna go with Blood for Blood by Ryan Groudon. It's been a while since I've read that one, so it's kind of hard to remember exactly what happened, but I do remember that I had this like bittersweet kind of feeling at the end. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. That was the last question. I'm so sick. So that was the last question in this tag. I am going to do something a little bit different this time around. I'm just gonna say everybody is tagged. So if you want to do this tag, you go right ahead and do it. And you can say that I tagged you. You don't have to. I don't know. But just again, the original tag was by, I think it says it's by Jaded Reader. Either way, I will have that original video down in the description for you. And then I will also be tagging some people on Twitter. So if you're on my Twitter, watch out. It might be you. Okay, so anyways, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are. Bye!